Yeah, well, I've been with MindWise now for just over 5 years. Started in September 2008, having worked in supported housing for a short while. So when the job came up here, I just went for it and lucky enough to get it. At that time, the service that I worked for, supported housing service, the clients in it were quite severe mental illness, so they were. So motivation was very, very low. That was the crux of the job, I suppose, at that time as a housing support worker, was to try and get them motivated, which was basically a big part of the job at that time. But as I say, I only worked there for a short time before coming to MindWise. Well, at that time, I suppose the services that were available to them at that time was very limited, I suppose, because I suppose from experience of working on mental health, and that is that when motivation's low, it's first of all not easy to get service users to engage in services, but if the services aren't there in the first place that meet their needs, then it's very hard to make ends meet as such for them. But that would have been a big issue for the service users at that time. Right, well, the traditional service, I suppose, that as it started out was the training and employment service. And it basically involved the charity shop and the woodwork shop. So a lot of the service users coming in were either trained up in woodwork and furniture restoration, and then that stuff was sold on in the charity shop. As well as that, then the service users were also helping out with helping staff with delivering and collecting donations of furniture too from the general public. So that's how it was at the time that I joined. I suppose it's developed in a way, maybe modernised. At the present, I mean, we still have the traditional service there, and it has been here for about 18 years now. As well as that, now we have the Up for Work programme. We have a playgroup handyman scheme that operates in the service as well as different projects and initiatives that we have going in the service that are pretty new to the service users. Well, I think that it's the mindset has shifted a wee bit, and there's a lot more focus now on breaking down stigma, trying to break down that discrimination towards people with mental health. As well as that, then I suppose the idea of the welfare reform coming in is that they're looking at benefits and stuff like that. That was kind of the prompt for us to have the Up for Work programme then set in place for service users coming through the service that maybe wanted to get back to work, back into training. And again, that helps us, promoting that service is to try and change that mindset and try and break down that stigma that people have with mental health. Again, I think the service in general does that, because the playgroup handyman scheme, it actively gets service users back out into the community and show actually what they can do. And that has proved very, very successful in its first year. Well, I suppose from my experience and having spoken to service users that have been here for basically from the service is opened, things are very, very different from what they were 20 years ago. I mean, I suppose it's public opinion, I think, and people are starting to become more understanding, I think, of mental health. They're starting to take it in a wee bit more and consider it. Whereas before, I suppose, people with mental health were maybe shown to the side and forgot about it. I think that the public opinion is starting to change. There's still a lot of work to be done there, I think, on that point. But especially the work that the likes of MindWise are doing, that it's starting to change that opinion. They're starting to show mental health in a different light. Well, I think from what I've seen from the work that we have done here, the guys coming through the likes of the Up for Work programme, I think the public opinion out there is changing in such a way that the guys can actually take confidence in that now. They can actually take confidence knowing that when they go out into the public, that it's not as bad as what it was 20 years ago. That people aren't judging them just as quick, and they're willing to understand where these people are coming from with mental illness. So I think that programme in itself has changed. I mean, all the service users, I think, have experienced some change in the public mindset, I suppose, with regards to mental health and that. But I think it's helping them, it's giving them a bit more confidence, and it's allowing them maybe to try new things and get back out into the community. So hopefully if that continues, it'll be an easier process for the service users. Well, I mean, even the mention of welfare reform and having it mentioned on the news, on TV, the service users it can panic them. They think their benefits are going to be cut, the money's going to be stopped, they're going to have to go back to work, they're not going to be given a choice anymore. And that can have a major impact on their mental health. especially for people with long-term mental health problems there that have maybe been in benefits 15, 20 years, to be told or to have the idea planted in their heads that their benefits are one day going to be stopped. I think that it's had a major impact on the mindset of the service users. But we've worked with them here to try and educate them and try and show them that it's maybe not going to be as bad as what they've maybe presumed it to be. But we would hope that the welfare reform won't hit them too hard. Again, I would say they take confidence from it. We have had guys coming through the Up for Work programme there, and I say guys because it was all guys and it was all males in the first year of it. Was that we had guys come through, number one, that had no qualifications, hadn't finished school, and didn't have the confidence to go to the likes of the TAC or other institutions there to try and learn. So when the opportunity to come up here, we had a group of guys that actually jumped at the chance. And seeing that journey, seeing their development through that, their confidence building, the skills that they were developing, it's just, I suppose, the point that they were going to take on new challenges. They were willing to take on new challenges, and to see that happen, I think it's been great. But definitely, I'd say the confidence that they've been taking, and it has helped their mental health. It has got them out of the house, and it has got them engaged in a programme that was a year long. So I suppose that it's the increased motivation. There's been a lot of benefits for the guys, I think, from the programme, and they've spoke about it on numerous occasions, how good they feel about it now. Well, I would say that, how they compare, I would say first and foremost that, in my opinion, maybe 20 years ago, someone suffering from mental health might have found it more difficult to even get their heads out through the door. I think now people are more comfortable saying that they have a mental health problem or a mental illness. I think it's far more accepted now in society, and I think even the services that are provided to these people now they're more applicable to the people that are using them. So I think there's more of an emphasis on the service users now, and they feel more of an emphasis now to help themselves. And of course, the introduction of sort of service user-led services has been a big help too, because it gives them ownership of the services that they're engaged with. Well, in reality, I'll take the service for example here. We always encourage the service user input to anything that we do here. Now, every month we would have a members meeting. So that's basically members only. That's service users, volunteers, all come together for a monthly meeting. Staff have no input to that at all. So it's an opportunity for the service users and the volunteers to feel relaxed, that they can say what's good about the service, what's bad about the service, so they can give us suggestions then on how to improve things for them. With regards to any projects that we do, any initiatives that we want to introduce, it's always the service users will take a lead on it. We've had projects running before that the guys, the service users have actually took a lead on it and actually had a facilitating role within that project. So I would say that having them take a lead in is the positions that they're in as well. We have service user representatives too in our project advisory group. So basically, we get a service user perspective whenever we're meeting with our trust representatives and that too. So they're heavily involved in how the service is shaped. So it's very much user-led. Achievement-wise, I would have to go with the Up for Work programme. I suppose you have an idea of how things might go with a new programme and how successful it might be. It surprised me how successful it did go in the first year, how many people actually benefited from it. So achievement-wise, I would have to say we had a do the other day for the guys getting their diplomas in horticulture. For me, achievement-wise, that has to be something that has to be remembered. Service users, I suppose I've been here 5 years, but haven't got to know the guys and the girls downstairs there. That I suppose is seeing their journey and thinking about where they were 5 years ago to where they are now. I wouldn't pick out one in particular, but I would say that them all as a group collectively, I think that it's just seeing that journey and how far they've come in the last 5 years. But it's all good, but there has been the trying times too. You know what I mean? There's been the times that the service has been through financial difficulties and all the rest. And although it's not easy at the time, but it's still something that I remember that we came through, and that the service has survived, and survived with the help of the service users, with their support. So it's been a lot of memories, yeah.